Hey, guys, with this one right here, we didn't got Squeeks, bragging rights. We got the bragging rights with Squeeks and just with the bragging rights in the music video with Squeeks. Squeeks coming into it, with the whole thing, the official music video and everything else, but just with Squeeks coming into it and everything else, but you got one of the bragging rights and everything else. So you got the whole music video and just with the rights and the bragging, special. You got my guy, Squeaks on it. So Squeaks, special Squeaks coming into it, and him giving his whole rights, his right bragging.
Pull up, show and prove like my producer.
Yeah. Squeeks. Niggas want them bragging rights. I got that cannon, he was camera shy. I could've left him paralyzed. Ducking niggas down, had them running lights. You ain't bad, you a bitch. You ain't rich, you a parasite.
This was eagerly anticipated, cuz, so let's give the people what they.
Ducking niggas down, had them running lights. You ain't bad, you a bitch. You ain't rich, you a parasite.
This was eagerly anticipated.
Who tell him, and then you got then you got Kennedy in it too. So come on, you got Kennedy. Like, come on, the whole thing. You just gotta give him that vicious, like, just a vicious. Like, I see something, like they say, it's visions of two divisions of twins.
Cuz, so let's give the people what they want.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Squeaks. Niggas want them bragging rights. I got that cannon, he was camera shy. I could've left him paralyzed. Ducking niggas down, had them running lights. You ain't bad, you a bitch. You ain't rich, you a parasite. Clip longer than a samurai. Told my pull up, park you off at Caroline. Niggas say the word, I'm a man of mine. I put that work on the curb and you heard niggas banging line. Mask up, it's bandana time. I still leave it with Malachi. You do the dirt, make sure your alibi's got an alibi. Son's getting slapped and I ain't satisfied. Israeli on the strap, came from Palestine. You do the dirt, make sure your alibi's got an alibi. Son's getting slapped and I ain't satisfied. Israeli on the strap, came from Palestine.
Who is rainy on the strip? Call it Sailors Fly. Something's getting slapped, and I ain't, taking. He ain't really, a vision. Ooh, just the whole thing, like he say, he ain't taking no he ain't taking no regrets, no apologies, no none of that. Like they say, and ain't really coming from that whole other visions. Like he putting the whole thing to it, like the way the whole thing is already skishes, like skishes in the way it's tuning, the way it's already going. Like he said, some off a little bit of a rights, the way he's just making it the whole thing, a lucid sign, the whole lucid bearings.
Be careful, Rollins getting slapped and I ain't satisfied. Israeli on the strap, came from Palestine. Be careful rolling with your bitch, cause that thing on his hip, man, they might hit your Valentine. Cool nigga, breathe. Quite cool jewels on the sleeve. Getting in the P, check the bank account. Like a sore thumb, the way the clip was standing out. Squeeze. Niggas want them bragging rights. I got that cannon. Squeeze. Niggas want them bragging rights. I got that cannon, he was camera shy. I could've left him paralyzed. Ducking niggas.
Couldn't let them paralyze. The whole thing, I couldn't let them paralyze, and that whole thing, like, you can't even count one of those things out. One of those, them turnaround vicious, blictions. Like, you can't miss none of those. Like, the whole thing is already coming how it's coming, and it's just so, it's sketchable. Like the way the whole thing is just coming and blissing, like it's blissing, like he always got something, another blissed one coming into the count, like he said, counter rights and stuff like that.
Down, had them running lights. You ain't bad, you a bitch. Niggas want them bragging rights. I got that cannon, he was camera shy. I could've left him paralyzed. Ducking niggas down, had them running lights. You ain't bad, you a bitch. You ain't rich, you a parasite. Niggas slipped up, now they wanted peace. I see him get cut like a set of keys. The stick cue size, man, they gotta leave. The shoes too tight, my nigga gonna squeeze. Boy, I'm back like I never left. Check the weather forecast, niggas getting wet. I'm warming with the bars.
Ooh, I like that one. Check the weather. Hey, check the weather. People getting wet just like it was the whole thing coming into the whole thing. Like they say, coming from the whole side and everything else. Like it just comes from a whole thing. Like he just, hey, it's sticking. Like it gets. This one's a real sticky one. Like you see the sticky moves in it. Everything else when it gets real sticky, when it gets real, iffy and everything else. Like just right there, check the weather, and everything else, and we having those whole thing bragging.
I just did a stretch. See my nigga drawing, he ain't come to do a sketch. Scorps or the dog, tell him pick a pet. Too white in that phone box, ain't Bill and Ted. Don't you know the kid's a vet? I spin him like a diss, I don't take disrespect. Got the Roddies at my mother's gates. Had it covered back and front like the number plates. I'll get you ambushed, I'm really from a jumpy place. Rambo above the waist, this the Hunger Games. Niggas want them bragging rights. I got that cannon, he was camera shy. I could've left him paralyzed. Ducking niggas down, had them running lights. You ain't bad, you a bitch. Niggas want them bragging rights. I got that cannon, he was camera shy. I could've left him paralyzed. Ducking niggas down, had them running lights. You ain't bad, you a bitch. You ain't rich, you a parasite.
Hey, coming in with this one though right here, Squeaks and everything else, and just with the everything else, bragging rights. Hey, bragging rights with Squeaks coming into it. And the main things, like I didn't even see the whole thing how it was coming. Like even the whole thing, like, hey, this was one of those ones. Everything else how he had it for loosen too. The whole thing was for loosen, but you got bragging rights and everything else, especially with the music video and Squeaks coming into it and tune with it, like him having this whole thing and him just coming with his whole thing. Like, I get this a 10 because he was really coming through it. He came through it. He was giving us those all type of things like coming into it and everything else, especially with his whole thing coming into it and everything else, and just with his main things with everything else, coming to a brisk. But Squeaks and everything else, but most definitely tune in with this one. Don't forget to like, comment, everything else, subscribe, and with those main things with this one right here, but everything else and just with this.